Oh, hello! Come on into our house. Welcome.
Welcome to our studio. Well, really, it's not a studio, it's our dining room, actually.
That's right, come on in. Well then, ladies and gents, so as we say, this is the dining room, but kind of a studio, and this is where it all happens. Come, let's look behind Leanne and me. You can see the famous wall where we've got our CAMSA Connect. This is like a foam board thing. We got these back in lockdown, well, near the start of lockdown, because we wanted something on the wall really to make everything look a bit more interesting. And you can see our light box as well, which we bought over Christmas, and we decided to mess about with from January onwards, didn't we?
Indeed. Also behind us is our lovely piano, and that causes much annoyance in our house sometimes because music gets moved off of it and put back on because we need it. It's just there really as a guide for whether we're straight when we're filming, so that we know that we're not standing at an angle and making everything wonky.
So one of the things we decided to do a few months ago as well is get some lights, because in our dining room it faces, oh, let's work this out, east. So in the mornings, if we film in the morning and if it's sunny, it comes in and then goes out behind the clouds and changes it. The room gets darker and lighter and darker and lighter. So we actually close the curtains and we use lights. Now, over Christmas we got these little lights here. As you can see, it's a bit of a homemade studio, so it's sitting on a cornet case every week. You don't know that. And the other light over here is on one of our young people's bandstands. So thanks Lee and the YP band for letting us use that, and that just makes this half of the screen blue as well. But we also have these big lights, and we got these way back last summer, I think it was, because we started to notice that when it turned into the summer, the sun was more of a problem, and we just need the room to stay the same lighting, because otherwise when you're watching us it goes dark and then it goes light, and we have had a few issues with that, and we don't want it to be a distraction for your worship. So that's the lights.
So way back last year, in order to read our script for CAMSA Connect, we rigged up our laptop in such a way that it would look like we were still watching the camera, but anyway, it caused all sorts of issues because you had to keep pressing the button down and you couldn't stand too close to it. And we decided we would buy ourselves a little teleprompter. There's a little problem with this teleprompter, because somebody who shall remain nameless, not me, dropped it over Holy Week when we were doing all the filming for the Easter weekend, and it got broken. So we can't use this anymore. So we invested in another one, slightly bigger this time. The iPad sits on here, and we can move this up and down, and as we read it, then the words move up on the screen as we talk into the camera.
So something else you would have noticed with CAMSA Connect is we use these lapel microphones. When we first started, we didn't have lapel microphones, and so you were just getting the sound from the room, and it's very, very hissy and not very good, and again a bit of a distraction for our worship. So we got these. They're about 20 quid actually, and they're both two of them, and they're joined into one, and they connect into the camera that we're filming on now. And also we have to have one of these, and this is what's called a grey card, and before we start our filming, we have to hold this up, take a picture of it, and then the camera somehow works out the white balance so that our skin looks skin coloured and not too grey or too yellow, as sometimes it's turned out to be. So, microphone and grey card.
So this is the room where the last part of CAMSA Connect takes place, which is the filming of our links, usually happening on a Friday, sometimes a Saturday. But every CAMSA Connect video starts long before that, quite a few weeks earlier. In fact, every episode of CAMSA Connect starts as an idea, and then we have a planning sheet where we keep a track of the themes, readings, songs, and who we hope will participate in the future. At the time of this video, we have CAMSA Connect themes all the way up until the end of July, as well as which music group will be participating, songsters, young people's band, etc., plus the time for the children and who we will ask to contribute a solo, reading, prayer, time for the children, and so on.
Yeah, and it doesn't always work, but we generally try to keep 2 to 3 weeks ahead. So on a Monday, we'll perhaps write to people or make plans to record videos of those without an internet connection for a week or so's time.
So on a Monday, we'll start to build the coming week's episode based on what videos we have or we are expecting in. We choose the songs and try to get the basic shape. We try to hone the working title too into a proper theme and decide what the Bible message will be about. We generally work on the Bible message throughout the week rather than set aside a morning. That's just what works for us.
And also on a Monday, there are usually 1 or 2 videos that need editing throughout the week. For example, the worship band or the singing company, so we might start work on those too. We might not have all the videos from the different people in by then, but we start work planning the layout on screen, you know, which square will go where and so on. And like CAMSA Connect, the editing work on those videos continues throughout the week, and often Stuart is involved on the audio side, so he usually works on the audio of a worship band piece for about 5 days or even longer sometimes, and then we get the final audio from him on the Friday before the Sunday, so a couple of days before. We do the rest of CAMSA Connect's audio ourselves normally, don't we?
On a Tuesday, we'll create the project file and start to put in clips in the order we planned on Monday. Every video we receive is normally polished slightly. For example, with this video from Norman, we'll do a bit of colour correction, plus clean up the hiss from the audio, which is quite normal on a home recording. Also on a Tuesday, Leanne starts work, that's me, on the Prayer Matters script for that week and then goes to work in the charity shop in the afternoon.
That's right. Wednesday we'll finalise the script for Prayer Matters and we get that filmed, edited and uploaded, and all that takes about 4 to 5 hours probably. In the afternoon on a Wednesday, one of us might be out and about filming at someone's house, but it really depends on when people can see us, and I'll generally be working on getting the songs ready for CAMSA Connect. So if there's songs we've not used before, we source some background video and then we type in the lyrics, and then that footage that we get, the background video, hopefully enhances the song.
Martin also tries to complete the music group video for that week, or any of those that need a grid layout on screen. They're a little bit of work, but as you can see each week, they're absolutely worth it.
By the end of Wednesday, we send CAMSA Connect, Kids Time and Prayer Matters, all the ones from the week before, and Brass Reflections too, to Ben. Now remember Ben, the good-looking red-headed guy who in normal life mans the tech desk, along with Annie, who is also good-looking and sometimes a redhead. You'll also be hearing from Annie in today's episode. Well, Ben puts these videos onto DVD each week and sends them all to the lovely people on our mailing list, usually on a Friday. So the mailing list people watch Sunday's video a week later usually. Does that mean we need to say hello to you watching this in the future? Well, if so, we hope you had a nice time cleaning the dirt off your space boots and servicing the anti-gravity flying machine.
We mustn't forget that while we're working on CAMSA Connect at our end, there are members of our core family recording their contributions too. All of this represents a considerable number of man hours, and we really do appreciate the countless numbers of home recordings that have been undertaken so far. As we often say, the participation of those in the CAMSA family makes CAMSA Connect so much more interesting. Can you imagine what it would be like if it was just you and me every week?
Yeah, pretty boring most probably. Well, by Thursday we've received most of the videos from the CAMSA family members, so now that we know what everybody is saying, for example in a testimony or a children's story, we try and start to work on the script. By the way, Norman is always very prompt with his videos, so we love you, Norman. So the plan for Friday is that we get up early to finalise the script. We do the CO's weekly update email. We have a building project advisory board meeting every Friday at 11 o'clock. So all that takes to about 11:30. And then we aim to film our bits and pieces, you know, our links. But to be honest, there's usually so much going on during the week with helping members of the congregation or dealing with finance or attending online meetings regarding admin and the building project and so on, that the script isn't quite finished always on a Friday, so sometimes the filming often spills over onto a Saturday morning.
After this last bit, it's back to the project on the computer to insert our links, then overlay all the graphics, names, logos, etc., and underlay the background music, which hopefully links it all together. That's about another 4 to 6 hours, so by Saturday afternoon it's usually exporting. The last things to do are create the video thumbnail, write out all the credits for the video description, upload it to YouTube and link it on Facebook.
Now, earlier in the week, Davinia has filmed Kids Time, and Leah, who's done a wonderful job helping us out with some video editing over all these months, she edits Kids Time every single week. So by Saturday, it's usually sitting waiting for us in a shared folder to upload to YouTube too. So we do that, and when that's done, we collapse.
So all of this is lights, camera and, well, action, but it's also worship. It's very emotional for the two of us because we can't stand and preach in front of a congregation, which is a big part of what God has called us to do. Instead, we stand in front of this camera and it becomes worship for us in that moment.
Yeah, and it's challenging sometimes because we can't always get the sentence out. Yeah, and Jesus' friends are all gathered in a room, although Jesus isn't wisdom. He isn't wisdom. Although Jesus isn't with them. And other times it's just been a very long week, so we almost feel like we've lost the will to live. But we try hard to imagine that you're all there behind this piece of glass worshipping with you, because at the end of the day that's what CAMSA Connect is, a worship service brought to you by the Cambridge Citadel Salvation Army family.
So that's just about it for this behind the scenes video. We hope that you enjoyed it.
And we'll see you all on CAMSA Connect soon. Shall we say God bless you? God bless you.